Alright, so it's like 5 in the morning, and I can't sleep, so I'm recording this. So, I don't know, today here I'm doing a little bit of a rant about how awful Overwatch 2's character redesigns are. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they don't really like the characters. I've talked to friends about it, about how they don't like their redesigns. I've never really seen somebody come at this with a pure artistic point of view, talking about the game's design philosophy and silhouette design behind characters. So, my central sort of thesis here is that the Overwatch dev team has completely lost their design philosophy for what made the original vision of these characters work in this universe. Overwatch is a sort of, on one hand, futuristic sci-fi story, but on the other hand is also rustic. It shows that the world progresses and ages at different rates. Um, I think that the characters today in the second game are far too cyberpunky. You know, they're overall vaguely cyberpunky, too much cybernetics, too many sharp angles. A lot of the quality has worsened in face and hairstyles. There's a lot less uh, body and face diversity, a lot less interest. So I'm going to go down the list here. I'm just going to look at the base designs for Overwatch 1 and 2 because if I were to look at all of these skins here, like, 40 characters, 40 minutes, there's like a million. This would take hours. So we're just going to look at the basics here. My consensus, first of all, is that every single character is worse except for maybe one or two, and I'll get to how that is. So if we just start with Diva, right? I think Diva, this character design is already sort of not the best. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of Diva. The whole mech idea is interesting, and her as this like superstar is interesting. But when you shift to two, I don't know. Everything is sort of lost here. All the visual interest and all the visual clarity. Look at how the like wide shapes here, these like bubbles all over that sort of make her like approachable, are all just turned into this like just futuristic shit. Like what is all of this? Look at all the joints. The joints were like ball joints. They made sense. Now they're like too much of this like plating. There's this like weird like matte look to it. Everything is hexagonal now. Nothing can be round anymore. Everything has to be sharp. And her own redesign, I don't know. For a while, I was kind of a fan of the whole ponytail look, but the rest of her design went from Eva plug suit to like sharp everywhere. Why is all this sharp? Why does she need knee pads? What is all this? And I think she also has some okay skins. I'm mostly going over this in terms of how well the character fits into them. Like this is interesting, for example, but not something I feel like she would do. Um, Doomfist, another bad redesign. This is already his best skin. This one, I like how cultural this one is. It's got like this horn on the side. It's got the painted skin, things like that. He is sort of platy, but for a purpose. All of the like interesting details are gone off of him and replaced with just too much, just like metal pieces. This Doomfist gauntlet had all these sharp bits all over them, and now it's just been replaced. And the shorts down here, like, I don't know, the little flare on the pants are pretty cool, I guess. But, I don't know, like the shoes. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hazard. Now, Hazard sort of encapsulates everything I have wrong with Overwatch 2's design. It's just that he's entirely cybernetic. This character looks like he's straight out of, like, Cyberpunk or something, for no purpose. How does this fit into anything in the lore? The only character that even sort of talks about the cybernetic body is Sojourn, and even then she like barely says anything about it. Hazard is just completely like, I don't know, hideous. I think that's part of his lore, but like, I don't know. Also, his weapon is literally the Hive Hand from Half-Life. I think one of the worst designs in this game is this, because you're supposed to be under the impression that he's wearing a suit. This is supposed to be cloth, but it's clearly metal painted to look like cloth. Why? Why did they have to do that? And the other thing that I have a big problem with in this game with Overwatch 2 designs are the joints. Right? Look at his legs here. Look at these like ball joint looking, no, not exactly, like this one-way joint looking thing here. You could not fit a leg inside of there. This is clearly like he has no actual legs. These are completely prosthetic. They do this with a lot of characters. I don't even think they mean to. If you look at Ryan, like the joints on the knees there, again, I feel like these are completely, well, actually his whole bodily proportions are up for debate anyway. You look at Hanzo, I can believe that there may be legs in here, although probably not. But, oh god, I'll get to him later. That's awful. Where's Lucio? Lucio was another one of those where I don't believe he actually has legs going down into here. No matter what fan artists may tell you, I think that his legs sort of stop here and they're cut off because you could not fit a leg inside of this ball joint looking thing. That's not how human proportions work. So, I don't know, that really annoys me. Junker Queen. Why did they change her? Why did they do that? If you look at her like video, which is now gone for some reason, in the Wastelander video she looked like this. Amazing design. And then I only even got this skin because then the game released and she is this. This is hideous. What is this? I've never been a fan of this design. What's up with every new character having red eyes? This, like, this design, everything about it made sense. All of this is scavenged parts. The gun is a lot of scavenged parts. That's not the right character. But then, I don't see her wearing this. I don't see her wearing this. I don't see her wearing this. I don't see her wearing this, like, vaguely little Roman-y bits. Like, and I don't see her having the blue hair like this. This is just a really, really bad design overall. This one at least has the, like, mullet in the back. I don't know. The choker is the only good part of that one. Who else we got here? Just looking through some vague notes I made real quick. I was just thinking about all this while I was asleep. Mauga, not a big fan of this design. It's just everything too much. I hate Mauga. Arisa is one of the only designs that I would say has improved somewhat. Her first design, I like. Everything below the waist bit looks amazing. Like the whole like centaur sort of bits. I don't know, this is just too much on this one. Just too much going on. Although up here on the face, having the two tusks, I'm sad they got rid of the tusks, but I do like this sort of hair thing they got going on here. The only thing I wonder is they kept her big, like, alt bongo thing, but then she doesn't use it anymore. So what's the purpose of that? Let's see, who else we got? Ramatra. Ramatra is a big thing that I'm going to go on here about, which is the texture and model work in this game, in Overwatch 2. I don't know. He does not convince me that he's made of steel, right? In Zarya has a line talking to Zen where she's like, why do you break so easy? You're made of steel. I can believe this dude's made of steel. I can believe Omnics are completely supposed to be made of metal. That makes sense. Ramatra looks like a plastic toy. This dude looks like a Megatron figurine that is made completely of plastic. That's like all the Null Sector robots look like that, with this sort of purple and black, like matte sort of painting. I don't know. His overall design is pretty cool, though. I think he's also one of the better, like, written characters. I also like how his faceplate here can also be seen in Anna's Mythic. Where is it? That's sort of the same, like, facial design. I think that's really cool. That's actually, like, referenced there. But other than that, I don't know. Like, I've never been a fan of the staff. The staff is just really silly. And does it show me the big form? It does. I actually never realized for a long time that he, like, crosses his arms and has this bit come out. Where does this store, though? How does that work? Reinhardt. Reinhardt is another awful change. This is a perfect design. This is a 100% perfect visual design. He is sharp where he needs to be. He is wide where he needs to be. Oh my god. I don't know. That's just too many accent yellows all over him. He looks more like a traffic cone. They got rid of the old style of Sabatons, which was really cool. A lot of characters have these double spiked feet. God, the hammer. It used to have his insignia here. The insignia is gone on this one. This just looks like a Nerf toy that would be in stores. I do like this sort of back rings bit all over him. Why do these take so long to load? This one is also pretty cool in that regard, but I don't know. Also, the helmet was perfect. I don't know why they didn't just give you the option to put on the helmet on 2, because first off, his face would not fit under that, like, at all, as you can see. And Reinhardt's, like, hair looks okay, although I do think, like, all of his older sort of skins look way better in that regard. Like, I don't know, where's an example? I really like his, Christmas, or whichever one where he wears, like a train set. I don't know. Conductor, there we go. I think this is, like, his best skin. But yeah, the hair and everything looks fine. The problem is that a lot of the hair and modeling and texture work on the hair of the characters has degraded significantly. Like, if we look at McCree, I don't care whatever you call this guy. The hair and the facial hair here, the texture on the slight sort of like growth, the grizzle underneath, and the like distinct face shape here is awesome. I'll get to McCree later about how this is one of the worst redesigns in the game. This is like made in Blender in 5 minutes. This is just hideous on the face. Hanzo's another one where his default, this is some amazing facial work. This looks just like in his Overwatch 1 character portrait, which is how I'm judging a lot of these based on how well they mimic their character art. He has the grayed out on the sides that flares over the ear, and then the like very subtle way that it grows into this goatee at the bottom. Ugh! Oh my god, Marvel rivals head ass. Look at that. Jesus Christ. That looks awful. Zarya is one of the only characters whose texturing work on the hair has gotten better. I like the fade. I don't like the ponytail, but I like the fade. But then a lot of them are way worse. Briggs one, where the hair is sort of too glossy. It's sort of lost its like shape. I had some other ones on here, but I can't remember. And what's up with them getting rid of all the details? Like on Brig, we just saw they got rid of her little like hair, little pin things, and the like thing in the back. I love those. They got rid of them. Farah, they got rid of her little beads in the hair. What's up with that? Everybody loses cool stuff in the hair. Anyway, who are we actually on? Reinhardt. Oh god, Roadhog is one of the worst offenders. This is another perfect design. Everything about Overwatch 1 Roadhog. The tires. Oh my god, this amazing hook. All the rings on him. The camo pants and the chain in the back and the big knife. And I just love the like hair piece here that goes over. What is this? This is trying too hard. Why does he have this sort of like coat on? What's up with this awful mohawk? This hook is not intimidating. The chains are gone from this. Too much red, too many accent colors. The plate here has become so small you can't read it anymore. And too many spikes on everything. And they got rid of like his does he still have, okay, no, he does still have these. But I distinctly remember playing him in Overwatch 2 for the first time and realizing that like what was different on him. I think all of his spikes are gone on the hands. And the like nose ring is a little bit too much. Were these spikes up here before? No. No, this is just like God, trying way too hard to make this character work. Sigma. As you can see, I like the orange skin here. This one is very Metroid to me. His whole design, I love characters like this that have the silhouette with the two large shoulders on the sides. He was very Metroid here, and I think his whole visual design works. He's got the little floating cerebral bits above his brain. He's got these, I don't know what you call these in like physics, these like bits that float off of him in these shapes. These have something to do with gravity. I know they have something to do with gravity connection, and all of it is gone as Overwatch 2 skin. Replaced by whatever this shape is. They covered up his head. His whole back, like, sphere thing is all sharp. Everything has to be sharp now. They can't have any... Like, look at the things on the side of his hips. Everything's sharp. I don't know, very, very awful. Winston looks basically the same. I can't tell the difference between these two. Yeah, basically the same. He has the little Overwatch logo on the shoulder now. I don't know. I really don't think that that's too much of an offender. Wrecking Ball, I also don't play Wrecking Ball. I never look closely at Wrecking Ball, so I never really noticed a lot of shapes. Although I will say that the way that the legs fit onto the body here is really cool. He has just too much going on with him. I don't know. Zarya. Zarya is a horrible redesign. I think this is a great design. I think Zarya fits her portrait art very well. I think a lot of people were turned off of the character by the elephant in the room, which is the pink hair. I think if it was any other shade, this would be like a fan favorite character. I don't really know what was going on with Blizzard there. I think it's interesting though. The like suit that she wears, I think, is amazingly sort of tethered together, where it's very overall wide and the base is very strong. She also, similar to Sigma, has all these little coils all over her, which sort of do gravity things. I don't really know. I'm not a physicist. I'm an artist. I never noticed all these little loops coming off of her. The arms are completely on display. It looks like a spacesuit that you've taken all the bits off you don't need. Now, this is a horrible redesign for so many reasons. First off, I don't know why, but her face shape and texture has very subtly changed. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about here? She kind of just looks yassified. I don't feel like Zarya would wear this ponytail at all. This does not fit the character whatsoever. I used to like it, not really anymore. The shoulder tattoo with the 512 was such a recognizable part of her, which they covered up the shoulders? Why? Why would you do that? There's just like not enough going on up here anymore. And also, of course, you can't have anything interesting like the details with the circular bits. They're all gone. These little platings just look glued on. And the boots are just overall worse. Oop, sleepiness is starting to hit. Ash. I don't like her 2 design. First off, like, the coat, I think, is what it mostly is. That's the wrong one. Yeah, the coat, I don't know, she's too leathery. You know, this is very, like, a Victorian 1920s Gilded Age sort of style bank robber. I like these coats that are sort of what you would see old bankers wear in, like, westerns. I like the duster coat look on the back. I like things like that. This one sort of covers it up to be too mechanical. I don't know about all this. The back bit, I don't know. Not very good. The gun redesign is okay. But Bob, what happened to Bob? Bob is too angular, too sharp. They got rid of his fur coat here, replaced it with this thing. I like that it has the Deadlock logo on the back, but it's so much smaller now. Never noticed that. What else is going on with Bob? I don't know. Too much. That's what. Yeah, and also people go on about, like, the hair shaved inside here. Yeah, I don't know. I think 1 is a perfect design. I didn't think they needed to change it at all. Bastion. I've got a big problem with Bastion, and that is that he is too cute. Look at this. They made everything that's sharp here too rounded. That's the one character where you want everything to be sharp. Problem is, he's the only robotic character who speaks in these, like, beep boops instead of actually speaking. Don't know why they never gave him, like, a voice modulator. But I'm going to go by the assumption that Brig and Torb had to replace a lot of the main chassis of his body, and also, of course, give him the hat. Because if you're telling me that all of the Omnics during the Crisis, these death machines, were, like, this cute and, like, Wall-E looking, why? Why would they look like that? This thing actually looks like a killing machine. This looks like a toy from Walmart. Why? I don't know, and I hate the hat. I don't like the hat at all. McCree. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is a perfect character design. This is 1000% perfect. The cigar, the facial hair, the gun with the spur on the back, the spurs down here, and the chaps. I like that he has this normal shirt. He's wearing a normal brown shirt with a bunch of technology shit thrown on it. That's how you do sci-fi in this sort of style, where everything is sort of wastelandy. He's got the flashbangs on the robot arm underneath the big sash. This thing is perfect. It's all chopped to bits. Perfect design. What is this? Dear God, what is this? Every single thing here is worse by 1,000 degrees. First off, the gun. I like the ivory, but all of the spurs and the sharp edges are gone. Like this amazing bit on the trigger guard, just rounded out, boring. His sash, or I don't really know what you'd call this. My brain's kind of empty right now. Why is it so clean? Why is it so reflecty? What is this? Why does it have like metal bits on it? What is this? God, his like shirt has become this just like Iron Man amalgamation of bullshit. What's up with these pants? Why is he wearing like cargo pants with fake chaps? These are not real, and those spurs don't work. This just doesn't work. And also the like the white, like metal. What is that? Okay, and then the elephant in the room. This facial hair. Why did they make him like gingery? You know, this looks just like his original concept art. And let's see if I pull up my where's my little victory pose? Oh, that's that other skin. His hair is so like glossy. It's just, this doesn't tell me that this is McCree anymore. This is a completely different character. I think this is one of his best skins. I'm your Huckleberry. Echo. Echo's another design that I think is really cool. I think she would do better without the really realistic face. I see a lot of people run the skin where she's like the glooby one. Where is it? Am I blind? Yeah, I'm blind. Slime Queen. I see a lot of people run this one because she's got this goofy little like 2-dot eyes. Makes sense. Now, I'm not a big fan of the way that the metal here bends. I don't really understand why the metal bends. But I think she's pretty cool. I think she could do a little bit more with being clearly from Singapore. A lot of people don't even know she's from Singapore. She has a few lines for that, but I think a lot of people, like my friends, they will hear her Singaporean lines and think that they're like a made-up language. Freya, I've barely even acknowledged that this character exists. This is the most boring Marvel Rivals looking character I think I've ever seen. This tells me nothing of where she's from or what she does, besides just like the big crossbow. Boring. Genji, oh my god. This was a great design. This is a cybernetic ninja. If you tell me cyber ninja, this is what I see. The little bits on the shoes, the whole like meaty portion of the body. Everything in here is really cool. And then he just becomes this. The most boring drivel I've ever seen. I've heard people say that this is based off of Japanese streetwear, like with the baggy pants and this thing around the neck. But this thing around the neck is what Hanzo's like casual wear should have been. Where is that one? Oh, he does have that. Okay, cool. I forgot about that. But yeah, that works for him. That does not work for Genji. I'm sorry, that does not work for Genji. Also, he's one of the only characters with a good-looking mythic skin, in my opinion. But yeah, also I think this is one of the best skins in the game. The curved swords. Oh yeah. But yeah, Genji, I've never been too crazy about his design, but this is a very recognizable character design, so I don't know what they were thinking covering up 90% of what's interesting about him. Hanzo. Oh god. Hanzo here is amazingly shown with sharp edges, right? Look at his legs here. Look at the way these things like have this sort of sharp shape to them. Then bellowing out with the pants. He's got the gourd on the waist. He's got the lightning coming out of the firing hand. And then this amazing like nipple tattoo that goes all the way down here and has the aforementioned face. So, oh my god, that's hideous. He's another character like Zarya that got very, very subtle facelifts. Look at how he's not shaded as much anymore. He doesn't look nearly as old. And his face doesn't bellow out. It's so much more like inward. I don't know. Why did they cover all this up? And why did they give him a second glove? This doesn't make any sense at all. And, yeah, like the legs here, they've gotten rid of the amazing silhouette that this had. Sharp, sharp, sharp. And now it is just, like, bunch of drivel, more of these like two-toed bits at the bottom. They got rid of all the stuff on his waist. The pants, I at least like that the texture shows it sort of double layered, but then why did they cover up everything up here? This is a design that just does not need to exist. And the quiver, oh my god, like the quiver's worse overall too. Junkrat, oh god. Yeah, perfect encapsulation of Junkertown. This dude's got like the ripped clothing, completely dirty, blown to bits, covered in soot. This is an attempt by Blizzard to pretend like this design never existed. Because why, oh why, does he look like this? What is this haircut? What is the redesign of his gloves and everything? What is up with the pants? I don't feel like this dude would wear pants. This dude would wear shorts only. His like little drinking thing is all gone. This like, God, I don't know. This is a really, really bad visual design. God, his fucking face. Anyway, May. May already was an okay design, although nothing about this says China. A lot of people don't even know she's from China. I like the little hairpin that's become like an iconic part of her character. It's gone. They got rid of it. Sorry. Hope you didn't actually enjoy that aspect of the character. The gun, I don't know, too angular. This is something she makes in a lab in 5 minutes. This is a thing that's made by the government. And I get that that's sort of the idea they're going for, is like they've been on adventures for years and they're back now and they're like redesigned. I don't like that explanation. The whole thing also just says like, I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. Farah is a character I think who does not suffer much, although I do not like this design. Here's something that you'll never unnotice when I say it, and that is that her arm here, you see how it's put into frame? Her arm is way too long for her body. If we look at Aviator, or we look at Lifeguard, why is her arm that long? If she fully extends this arm, it will go past the knee. There, you'll never unsee that. Now, again, they got rid of her interesting facial bits. What's up with this ball joint? I never noticed that. These are very weird. They're trying to finagle her body into fitting in this thing like Samus. I don't really see it working, you know. I think one of her best skins, hilariously, is this Porsche one. Anything that has this sort of bellowing shapes and overall one color consistency to them, like, let's see, not really Malachite, but like Anubis. That's one of her best skins. Anything that's like a single color looks really cool. Although I wish more about this design said anything of Helix. We see the Raptor armor. I like how when I wear Thunderbird, she says Thunderbird systems online instead of Raptor systems. But nothing about this says Egyptian or Helix security or Overwatch or Amari or anything. I do like that you can see the rockets in there, though. Oh, you can't there. Of course not. Oh, I'm getting sick. Reaper. Jesus Christ. Reaper here, I like his original design, because as goofy and edgy as it is, it serves it for a purpose. He has this sort of Grim Reaper cloak on, and the rest of him looks like something that you could feasibly wear. This is just like, God, what? Oh my god. All the design, again, all the beautiful metal polishing and all the like little scrapes on him are gone. His little like keychain with his own face on it is gone. The shotgun shells are smaller. The coat is now half metal. Like, a very important part of visual design is texture and the feeling of like, I can feel this in real life. This is like a very tough leather that has seen use over the years. This is not. This is store-bought like Halloween costume. Too edgy. The big like cloak over him. This like, what is this like horribly ugly like plastic on his arms? What is this? And the guns. Wow. If you know me, I love like wood frames and accents on guns. This is just a toy. This is just slop. This is just very slop. So Reaper, also done dirty. Sojourn. Sojourn as a visual design is okay, but weird. Weird in regards that she was one of the first characters that really has this whole, we're gonna go the full cyberpunk route and have the character completely head to toe, like, not a real body, which I think she's the only one that even really talks about it. She has one line where she's like, whoa, I can do, like, rocket jumps. You know, like some, he's right behind me tier dialogue. But I don't know, her portrait art in the 2D is really cool looking, but the actual 3D model is not very interesting. I think she's also a character that has a lot of really bad skins. Fortnite default, even though I think this is one of her better ones. Where was it? That one's okay. The barista one is probably her best, like, design. If she just looked like that all the time, this is a really amazing design. This actually says everything about being from a Canadian coffee shop. That one's really cool, but yeah, overall, I don't really know. It's sort of meh. Soldier. Oh god. This is really cool. As flashy as it is, because it fits his character, this is something that you would see in universe. This is an agent of Overwatch. This makes sense. His gun is old and rustic. It has seen years of use. His body, his face is like completely covered. The scar, the amazing hair texture work, the little healing grenades on the sides. This is somebody's dad. This is somebody's dad, which they've done that in the, like, Grill Master. This is somebody's dad. This is somebody's dad. This is a brand new military age gun. This is not something he'd be carrying around, like, falling, like, for years, just, like, hiding from people. The like, horrible facial hair texturing. I don't know what they were thinking. Half this thing is metal. He's wearing just armor. What's up with that? I don't know. This is a horrible redesign. That face visor, though. Sombra. Sombra is one of the few characters who I'd actually say that the 2 design is not very bad. I think 1 is pretty much perfect. This says everything about her that you need to know. 2, I like the overall purple, but I do like how this one has the sort of more natural hair color that then goes out into the highlights. I like the big collar here. So I like that they kept the big collar, opened up the arms, and the whole, like, limbs have this sort of, like, gradient texture all over it. I think that's really cool. She got away probably the best of a lot of characters overall. I think that her whole visual design here of hacker that the world has never seen before is sort of perfect, although this is a little bit goofy. What is this? It's just big computer chip jacket. Oh, I'm starting to get really sleepy. Symmetra. Trying to think of all the problems I always have with these. Symmetra, I think 1 is pretty much a perfect design. This is just perfect all over. This is Vishkar. This is India. All about it. 2, this one's alright. I think Symmetra is a character with very rarely bad skins. Except for this one. This is horrible. But yeah, a lot of these are good. A lot of these ones that were in the shop recently are amazing too. Like the Mage Punk. This might be her best one. I don't know, I like the ones that show off the face more. Nothing really bad to say there. Torb. I don't really see a big difference, but I really don't care for his look in 2. I don't know, this one's sort of perfect. This one, I don't know, they changed a lot of his face. I wish he kept this, like, mask, what do you call it? I forget. I don't know, he's alright. I don't really like the jeans. I like just how much this one has going on. All the wiring, all the moving bits. A lot of the wiring is gone. His, like, torso has been simplified from armor. Tracer. Now, Tracer. I have a lot of things to say about Tracer. If you look at her original concept art, her hair was almost black. And, in fact, when I saw the little... Oh, I never noticed she had these little things on the side. She had the strap from this... goggles going around the side, which I actually thought were like a shaved punk side of the head look for the longest time. I thought that was really cool until I was disappointed to find out it wasn't. They sort of, like, over the years lightened her hair continually. I don't really know why they keep doing that, This design, though, is pretty much perfect, like straight off the original game's box art. If you see, like, in the Widow cinematic, like, you can very much feel how this jacket feels. It's completely form-fitting. The chrono accelerator over the top of it sort of perfectly just fits the contour of her body. The jacket, like bomber jacket bit going up, and the Flight Academy on the side feels very British. The legs being long and slender and sort of reminiscent of the TF2 Scout, and the shoes that are very worn. This tells you that she's a runner. This character is clearly somebody who runs fast. Never really been big on these arm things. I don't really know what's going on there. Pretty much perfect. This design just boils everything down. All the flair is gone. I don't know. I like that the arm things are smaller, but why did the jacket have to be sort of bleached out a bit to where it's just this gray? You can barely notice she has the chrono accelerator on. Too many just straps flinging all about. I don't really know what's up with this, like, thing going over the shoulder. I don't know what this... Did that say Tracer? TRSR? I think... TRCR, I think is what that says. I don't like how it got rid of the white bit around the goggles. It sort of shows off the freckles more, but other than that, the face just has too much exposed for a runner. And speaking of runner, the legs being thickened up, I don't really know about that. This just... I don't feel like she runs as much here. You know, the shoes are nice, though. The shoes are a nice touch, but I don't know. And a lot of her other designs are really cool. The comic book one is one of her only ones that has the goggles off the face for some reason. I think if this was her Overwatch 2 redesign, I would be sad that a lot of the color choices are gone, but this is actually a really good design. I don't know about the braids, but the black with the white streak and the beanie on, this tells me urban streetwear. You know, this would actually be a perfect redesign just on its own. Also, yeah, a lot of the mythics look really bad. Venture. Venture's an interesting case. For the longest time, I felt that their concept art in 2D was cute and that the 3D model in-game was ugly, but I sort of swapped that around over time, where this one feels very grounded. I like how they feel like they actually fit into the world very well with the whole, like, coat and the all the straps all over and everything, and the, like, the boots. But I feel like most of their character is carried by fan art, you know? I've drawn for a lot of these characters. I've looked at a lot of these details a lot for a lot of these different characters. And, I don't know, a lot of times the 3D models in game just don't do the justice that they deserve. And the lack of skins, Jesus, very saddening. This is one of the best designs in the game. A lot of these, like, Wastelanders sort of post-apocalypse. I forgot to mention that earlier. Zarya, I think one of her best skins in the game is this, where is it? Apocalypse. This is one of the best ones in the game. I love gas masks on characters. But yeah, Venture's design, I don't know, a lot of people do not like them. I think they're really cool. I very much like this design. I think Monarch, when I first, like, realized, like, that was really funny. Not enough lore, though. All these Overwatch 2 characters, not enough lore. Widow. Widow is so weird, because I got this skin recently from, like, a loot box, and it made me realize just how silly the bright purple was, but I don't feel like Widow would wear this. You know, she's one of the most recognizable characters in the game, for all the wrong reasons to me. You know, because to briefly recap her lore, she was the wife of Gerard, who was the Overwatch agent. She was captured by Talon, turned into a sleeper agent, returned to Overwatch, killed her husband, and then escaped again to Talon, and then Moira, like, slowed down her heartbeat to turn her blue, and like, make her emotionless. Now, unfortunately, the game goes to no lengths to actually explain any of that to somebody who just goes, bro, why is she blue? But it made me realize how, like, this Black Widow, because she's like a widow, so, like, why is the black one here not the default? Why is it, like, this stupid purple? You realize how silly this is when you have her other ones where you go, like, wow, these other colors are really ugly. Now, her design itself, I think, is one of the weakest in the game. This is extremely boring. This is just, like, I don't know, I don't care. The back tattoo is pretty cool. The heels are pretty cool. I actually never even noticed she had this tattoo before until the Overwatch 2 redesign when I thought that they added it here. Now, I think that this 2 redesign is overall way stronger. It's a lot sharper in a lot of places, which I don't really like. But everything that was interesting about this one is kind of more pronounced. I think that's really cool. The gun, it's also very sharp, but I feel like if you're going to do the sharp thing all over, make it just for Talon, and just make it Talon's things. But yeah, very, very weak, boring design. Ana. Ana's another horrible redesign. This one feels a lot like her original concept art with the Wastelander skin right here. This was her original design. This one fits that bill a lot. This is a coat she wears in Egypt, very hot, very blends in with the desert. It's completely tattered. She's been on the run for decades at this point. She's scavenging. So why is she now wearing a brand new designer Egyptian like coat here with this dark blue that stands out? Not something she would wear. The boots, like, I don't know, this whole thing, it has like the color gradient, you know. This is like another thing about silhouette and color theory and design. If you look at like the TF2 mercs, for example, the colors are more vibrant at the top, become desaturated and darker by the bottom, and the thing that sticks out most is the character's gun, so you know who you're fighting. Now, that design philosophy does not completely translate one-to-one, because the character's gun is not as important as who you are fighting, and that's why their shapes are really annoying to me. But Ana here is so bright up at the top and then so dark at the bottom here. I don't see why they do this. What is the point of that? And her arms are so, like, thin now. What's up with that? And the gun. Yeah, too much going on. This is scavenged from parts. This is designer. Why are characters wearing designer as, like, refugees of a, like, world-scale war? I don't know. I think also Ana has some of the best skins in the game in general, like her young Captain Amari, Sniper. These ones all look pretty cool. Bastette's become one of my favorites recently. I like Merciful. These are all really cool. Now, speaking of these silhouettes like that, I just realized that Vendetta is gone. She was here right before I turned all this on. There's a big problem with the silhouettes in this game. This is a tank. You can very clearly tell that this is a tank. For the longest time, I had the hardest time telling that Junker Queen was a tank. She looks just like a damage, and honestly, this isn't a video about balance, but her and Doomfist and arguably some of the other ones should have been damage characters, because they are not befitting of the role of tank. Now, why did Vendetta basically was made by combining the face of Sombra with the body of Junker Queen, which made absolutely no sense. In my opinion, what they should have done was take the body of Zarya, which is this, like, if they're going to go with this whole, like, the wolf sort of look, have that, and have Hanzo's wolf skin. Where's his wolf skin? I don't actually know what it's called. Lone Wolf? This sort of everything going on up here. Combine those two together, and that would have made Vendetta really cool, because as she is, that does not look like a gladiator. That looks like somebody cosplaying a gladiator from like a runway model doing so. And also, what happened to her helmet that was in like all of the promos? Just bring back the helmet. Anyway, Baptiste. I've never really cared for his designs one way or the other. They're kind of just too boring to me. His whole face and hair and everything is really cool, but the actual suits he wears doesn't really tell me anything except vague sci-fi Titanfall him up. I like this tattoo that he has. I never noticed that before, but this like scarf is pretty cool, but I don't know, everything, there's just so much going on with him. It's just like too busy of a design. You can have designs that are way too busy. Start from simplicity and work toward complexity, not the other way around. Brig is a squire. It makes sense she wears a full suit of armor, although I think that this whole thing should have been proportioned a little bit differently. This one is just, what is this? This is not armor. This does not protect you. Everything is too sharp. Why do her sabatons look like that? I don't know. I feel like everything that works best with Brig are things that look like she made it. You know, like you have the engineer and mechanic skins and Sparkplug. Okay, maybe not spark plug, but engineer. This, like you can see in the comics where she actually builds this, and it eventually turns into her one armor here. So this one just does not feel like something she would build, per se. And also it says nothing about being Swedish. So, I don't know. Where does this even connect to on the other side over here? That just makes no sense. What is the armor pack? I always assumed the armor pack was in this thing. And it, again, took away the details, and they yassified her face too much. They made her mouth smaller. I don't know. She also does not have a whole lot of very good skins. I like these armory ones. One thing I thought would have worked well is that this is very clearly like Winry Rockbell, right? And I think what would be cool is if you had a whole Full Metal Alchemist thing, where that works best if, like, Rhine Owl skin, or maybe, like, Riza and Owl as these two, or maybe, maybe Ed is Torb, Tiny. That would be cool, I think. Alari. I think Alari's actually a really good design for Overwatch 2. Almost nobody cares about her because she has no personality and barely any backstory, which is common amongst Overwatch 2 when the whole like lore team was fired. But I think this design is really cool. The like sleeves and all the colors feel very Peruvian, at least from what I think. I like how there's a lot of bits of skin showing, the sandals on the bottom. This whole like weapon she has is very unique for being a support. The whole facial and hairstyle and all the designs, everything is really cool here. The cape, it's okay. But this is actually a very good design. And all of the little cybery bits kind of fits into her lore and works to her benefit. I have not seen or care a lot about these skins very much. Oh, that one's pretty cool. Most of these are like meh. This looks just like from Castlevania Nocturne in the like finale. This one and the other one that was like in the shop at the moment are really cool. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I've never seen this one before. I've never seen a lot of these before. That's the one I was talking about. That one's really cool. That was really cool. I think this is one of her better ones. But yeah, just in general, Alari's a good design. Very rare. Juno. Immediately off the bat, I don't really care for this design. I don't like the purple hair very much. If you ever see me in my art, I like characters that have natural hair colors. I think when they're dyed, they're cool, but when they're born like that, I don't know. In lore, she's born with purple hair, which I think is pretty boring. I think she has a very good, recognizable character. The orange and the blue and the big shoes and the flying around. You cannot mistake her for anyone else in this game. But I don't know. I don't really like the whole like Martian. Wow, I thought that was stalking for a minute there. I don't really like the whole like Martian aspect of her. And also, oh my god, what are these horrible skins? Well, that's actually okay. Jesus Christ, these. Okay, I'm getting mad just looking at that. I don't know. Alright. Here's the elephant in the room. I don't really like Kiriko. Anything about her. From visual design to personality to lore to gameplay. I think she's overall awful. And she's, the best word I can use to describe it is forced. Blizzard forces her to work for everything she does not work for. This design is okay. I don't like the green hair. I wish it was black. The fox spear, I don't know. The fox bit, like with the headband, just doesn't really work to me. She's just like very, very cookie cutter. I don't know. I think this one that I have equipped is one of her better ones. Where is it? This one. It feels very streetwear. This feels like something she would wear in Kanazaka. My biggest gripe with her, though, is that she's in this gang of vigilantes, or just troublemakers, I don't really remember. The whatever they're called, the like Japanese like mythological characters, and she's the only one of them who does not wear a face mask. She's completely fine with being like a vigilante and everything, not covering up her face. Why not? I know that there's a few of these that do. Oh, I thought that's the one I did have there. Oh, okay. There's one of these that like covers up her face. Maybe it was this one I was thinking of? No, that one's just hideous. Was it really just that one I just saw there? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's the only one that like covers up her face. And oh, I never seen that one before. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this design, I don't really care for it. It doesn't say anything about Kanazaka at all, aside from maybe this is what people in Japan wear. I don't really know. Lifeweaver? I don't really know what to do with this dude. I think he's a very unique design. He's also a very boring design? I don't know. He doesn't really speak to me in any way. I don't know. He's kind of boring. All of his skins don't really do him justice. A lot of these are pretty hideous. This one's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. But, like, I don't know. A lot of the characters kind of feel like K-pop bait. You know, like that specific vibe. That's what I feel about Wu Yang. He's pretty boring. Lucio. Lucio's visual design in Overwatch 1 is perfect. He's a perfect character. It's all down in the legs, the top bits. The middle bit's like thinner, the top bit has all this going on. His whole like design is the Brazilian flag colors, the blue, the green, and the bits of yellow. He's friendly looking. I like the big backpack where the music plays from. The tattoos showing. Great design. I don't know what this is. Where did the Brazilian flag go? What is this? The frog idea is a little bit too much. And I don't know what's up with these shorts over the robot-y bits. Again, everything has to be sharp and angular now. Or, I mean, they kind of still were in the past, but I don't know. This one's just more boring. They kind of just made everything more boring. I do like the headphones on both sides, but, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these other ones he has, like this one or Equalizer, are pretty much perfect. I like how this one kind of covers the eyes more. That one's really cool. He's an overall perfect design, though. Mercy. Mercy had a very big downgrade. I think this skin is nearly perfect for being an angel. This just like, I don't know, the halo here was very prominent, and I think if you ever look at like all of her portrait art, this like bit covering around the sides of the face into the ponytail is a really, really cool design of the character, and they kind of just threw it away here to cover it up. Everything else just has too much going on. Like this, fine. Too much going on. The wings are cool. Wings are too angular. I don't know. Everything just kind of sucks. She's another cash cow. A lot of skins. I'm not going to go over those. I'm too sleepy for that. Moira. I think Moira's was another nearly perfect character design in the beginning. I like the fiery red. I like the faceplate, which is never explained. I like the sleeves and everything. Now, I think that Overwatch 2 is one of the best redesigns in the game. I like that she is visually aged. I like that the faceplate kind of still has something going on with it, and like the heterochromia underneath is kind of hard to see. A lot of people don't like that the black went to this sort of changed color. I think it works just fine for her. The arm, I very much love what happened with the arm here. It was kind of too much covered here, but here you can see it a lot more clearly. I really like the design of this jacket and the pleated bit of the pants. It has kind of made her silhouette look less thin, but I don't know. I think it's really cool. I can believe that Moira Odiran would wear this. That just makes perfect sense to me. Also, a lot of her skins are really cool. I think the best one is, where is it? Rosewood. That one's really good. Wu Yang. Mr. K-pop bait. What a boring, sauceless design this is, I'll be completely honest. This is supposed to give college student. Okay, I can kind of see that. This dude, like, works out. What's up with water college lore? Like, I don't even think I've really even, like, paid attention to this. There's just water magic in the game? There's water magic? I guess? I don't know. It's very boring. I don't know. This is sort of a nothing design. And yeah, and a lot of these characters that are recent, people say that they release intentionally boring so that they can release alongside legendary and mythic skins, like, immediately. Or in, like, collab skins. You know, like, dude really did just design... He really did just come into the game just to have this Joker design. What the hell is that? Oh, hell no, Jigsaw. Zenyatta. Zenyatta's another ball dropped. This is a perfect design. This is 1000% perfect. Shirtless monk with the face completely open, the pants that are worn and scraggled down, this little thing coming off the sash here, and the sandals. This gives wandering monk. This is a wandering monk who is whatever this is now. Shiny Gucci pants. This thing has been turned into sharp things, because of course. He now wears shoes. What monk wears shoes? And he has this, like, sash all over him. And too many, like, jewelry on. Like what is all that? And also, I don't really care for the redesign of the orbs. I don't know. I think he's another character with a billion amazing skins, like Skull Yada and Ascendant. I actually think Earth is awesome. Also, where's his, like, Aang skin? Aang? That one's awesome. And I also really like the ones that give him, like, facial hair and, like, eyes and glasses. Like, where's the little, like, oh, Thrall is cool. Royal Astronomer. I think that's one of his coolest ones. But, yeah, a lot of these designs have lost the design philosophy. Everything is too sharp. Everything is too angular. Everything has become too cybernetic. Everybody's, like, face and hair has been worsened. All of their unique traits of their outfits and their backgrounds and their origins and their lore have been extinguished for the sake of mass marketability. I wish I could have more well to say, but I really don't. I'm actually too sleepy to even remember why I was making this. This is just a big rant. There's a lot of my opinions on things. Feel free to disagree, and that's about that.